Welcome back to this tutorial. Today I show you how easy you can use your own game assets in Buildbox. I created a superhero game asset pack to show you how it works. And in the video description here you can find a link where you can download a 3D model for free. Let's get to it. After Buildbox is open, we click on the Deep Flight template and then it takes a few seconds to create this new project. When we hit space we can move around with the left mouse button, and when we hit the right mouse button and space we can rotate around. Now let me show you a quick preview how it looks now. In this preset the camera view shows our character object a little bit from the right side. This is not what I want. Now I kill him and let's get back and change the camera view. I want that the camera view shows our scene from the backside. And then we select the camera, and I already prepared the camera settings we need. The X position we change it into 14.041. Y position we change it into 9.432 and Z 0. The X rotation 0, Y rotation negative and 90, and Z rotation 0. Let's check it. And this is exactly what I want. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. And next we edit the character. When the character is selected, we can edit the 3D model here, or we can do this in the node editor. Then when we select the 3D model node, and then we delete the mesh. I want to use my own character, so I choose my OBJ file and drop it in. The mesh preview is a very cool new feature in Buildbox. And then the character needs a texture. Choose the texture and drop it inside the texture field. And that looks a little bit strange now, because the mesh color is yellow. Just change it into white and now we have the correct color from our texture. And this is our character. You can do this with enemies and all the other objects you use in your game. Back to the 3D game world. And I see that the character looks a little bit too flat. Now we can change the scale a little bit. And I think 0.8 in all the 3 axes will be great. It was because he has the preset scale from the triangle object before. Now it looks good. And Maybe we can rotate him a little bit along the Z-axis. That looks much better later in the game. And let's do this. Change it here a little bit. And let's try this. Yeah, that looks great. But for this character I don't like the trail. So select the character and you can delete the trail here. Or when you go to the node editor, you can cut the node connection, because maybe you want to use a trail much later. You can connect it again. And this is how it looks, our character without trail. And for this kind of game I want to use some buildings the superhero must avoid. These preset tubes we can delete. But we can do it much easier and delete some scenes. The start scene is only to start the game. And scene number 1, we place the first building. So we choose the OBJ file and move it inside as an object. Now here it is. And then we select the building number 1 here, open the 3D model, and then we drop in the texture. Okay, nice. And now we turn on the physics. Let's go back to the object and turn on the physics here. And on type we choose static. Collision group we change it as enemy because we want that the building kills the character when he collides with it. Let's move the building a little bit to the left side and make a preview. And look there. I think it is a little bit too small. So we can scale it along all the axes. And I think 1.5 will be better. Yeah, now it looks much better. And now we add the collision shape. Let's turn on the collision shape editor. And we can also turn on the 2D mode. And here we scale up the y-axis. Move the shape a little bit in the middle. And now we can continue the scaling. Then we turn off the 2D mode and give it a try in preview mode. And bam! Yeah! That works. Is to create this world in a style with big skyscrapers, and what we need now are some clouds. I don't want to see ground, I want to see that the ground is covered by the clouds. We can use the preset ground object and give it a cloud texture. But first we scale down the Z direction. Now we turn on the camera view and that looks good. And now we select this plane object and then we open the 3D mode. And then we need a cloud texture. And then we change the color in white. And give it a try. And that looks pretty cool. But I don't want to kill the character on the ground. So I see the collision group is on enemy. Let's make another preview. And now the ground doesn't kill the character. That was the building. And now we select scene 1 and scale the cloud plane into the same size as in the start scene. And then we duplicate scene 1 with D many times. Ten scenes is enough for this tutorial, and I want that the next scene starts after the last scene. Then it's important to align scenes, and we have to do this always when we adding or deleting a scene. Let's go and make a preview. Now that looks very cool with the clouds, but it's a little bit too slow. Let's go to the character nodes and then we select the move node, and on speed we change the x-axis into 60. And now it looks much better. Okay, back to the 3D game world, and now I want to add some more buildings. It is always the same workflow like I show you with building number 1. Let me do this right now. Alright, I already added a few buildings to our game, and I show you now in the preview mode. And have a look there. Oh yeah. Okay, but you see I have added these buildings, but I think we can change a little bit the collision shape from our character. Right, now I changed the collision shape a little bit, and let's make another preview. Now it is much better, and you can see all the new buildings I added. I have 6 different buildings and made some copies, and that looks great now. Okay. Okay, and now we need a few enemies in our game, and I have prepared a drone with 2 different styles, and you can download this drone for free. Just check the link in the description here and check it out. Okay, now we go to the asset library, and we go here to assets, and then we use this deep fly asset here, add to library. And here on the left side you can see when it is already downloaded. And then we go back to the mind map. And now let's place the first enemy here in the scene number 2. But now we have to change something. Go to the edit nodes, and then we can cut the touch move because we don't use it as a character. And we show you what is next. We have to, yeah, alright, here. The speed, we change a little bit into 60, but negative, because we want that our enemy comes against our character. And now we change the mesh, and I want to use my own character, my own 3D model. It's the same model that you can download for free. Just check it out in the description here. Alright, here it is, and this is our drone. We drop in the OBJ file, and I have these two different textures, and I use now this black texture. And then we change the color from yellow into white. And you can see it. It is, yeah, it's a little bit funny, this drone. You have some eyes here, and it's cool for a game like this. Okay, let's go back to the 3D game world. And now let's make some changes here. Because we need a collision from the character and the drone. But let's go to the drone at first and change something here. Let's give it a name like drone black. Okay, and now we make a check on physics. Dynamic is okay. Okay, let's go to the character now. And now with D we duplicate this collision node. And we cut this connection with the other node. Let's move it a little bit around here. And we duplicate also the defeat node. We connect this, and we connect these two nodes, and now we change this here. Affected asset is the drone black. This is okay for now. Good. Let's go back and let's check it out. First we add the collision shape a little bit. We have the same collision shape in when the character collides with an enemy and when the character collides with a building. Now let's place the drone in scene number 2 and have a look at the collision shape from our drone. This is the collision shape from the start scene, and that looks great. Now we change the collision shape with the character. Same as in cube, and then, well, and then we shrink it down a little bit to the same size like the other collision shape. Okay. Okay. Now let's move this drone a little bit more up, and then and then with Control and C we copy the drone and place it around many times in all the other scenes. Let me do this right now. Alright, now let's check it out. Yeah, this is pretty cool when the character collides with the drone and you see the drone has physics and then the drone is rotating. This is very cool. Alright, but we have to change something more. Okay, now let's go back to the character nodes. And this explosion here, I want to use an animation when the character collides with the drone. Then we go to the content here and we use this animation node. And we change the connection and connect the defeat with the animation. And now I prepared this very cool explosion animation. We select all the images and drop them in here. And here it is. And then we check on build board. And this is when the character collides with the building. I don't want to see an explosion when the character collides with a building. I want to see it only when the character collides with a drone. Yeah, this is how it looks, and that's pretty cool. But something isn't correct with the keyframes. The images are not in the correct direction, but we can change this. First I want to check what's happened when the character collides with a building. Yeah, we have no explosion when he collides with a building. I want to use something different later. Now we duplicate the drone because I want to use also another drone with another color, and we change the name from the duplicated drone into drone gray. We delete the texture, and then where it is, yeah, for this drone we use the gray texture. Now we have the same object duplicated, only with another texture. And let's start in scene 4, and this is how it looks. Let me copy and place it around in the other scenes. Okay, now let's make a check. Now we have many drones in the game. But it seems like the gray drone doesn't kill the character. Here the drone collides with the building. Okay, we have to change something. Now we go to the character nodes, and the thing is that we have to duplicate one more time the collision nodes, because we need them also for the gray drone. Now let's duplicate this, the collision node, if collide, and change it into drone gray. And the defeating node, we also duplicate. We cut this connection here and connect it with the if colliding node. And the animation is okay, because it's the same animation we want to see. Now let's make a check. Okay, great. That works. Okay, we got buildings and drones, and what we need now is a power-up. And I have prepared something. I have prepared this power-up in a crystal style. I have different colors here, different textures. But we don't need a new one. We can use this point, this pre-selected power-up here. And we only change the mesh. We drop in our crystal OBJ file. And now I use this purple crystal texture. Let's change the color into white. And I have another animation. It's just another color. It looks much better with this blue. Select all the images and drop them in. Okay. And this is how it looks, our power up. The animation is a little bit big now, we can scale it down. But for now, with Control and C, I will copy the power up and place it many times in the different scenes. Let me do this right now. Okay, and what I did, I shrinked down the animation a little bit and placed the power up around all the scenes. And have a look now. And that looks pretty cool. We see that the drones always colliding with the buildings. That's cool. Okay, that looks good. Okay, and now I want to change this game style a little bit. I want to add a little bit more clouds in vertical style. And here it is. And now we drop in the picture as an object. Here it is, and now we rotate it around the y-axis. (90°), and we need a negative. Let's move it around. Place it here and have a look from the camera view now. Just a little bit more. And I think that looks great. Now let's make a preview. And that looks very good, but it is too strong. We can't see the drones and we can see nothing. So we have to change the opacity a little bit. Now we select the vertical cloud object, and here we can change the opacity. And we change it into 0.5. And check it again. Now it looks pretty cool, but we need some more. I select the vertical cloud object, and with Ctrl C I copy it to place it around all the other scenes. Let me do this right now. Now I did it, and let's check it. And this is very cool. Yeah, that looks really cool. With Buildbox you can make so cool games, this is amazing. This is very funny when the drone collides with the building. Okay. And I changed something in all the scenes with the buildings, because the buildings are all in the middle. They are very tight, and I changed them a little bit more to the left and right, and have a look. Now it looks very cool, this game. Okay, but we have to change a few little things more. The background color. This blue I don't like. We change it into a gray. And the fog we can change a little bit. Let's check it out. And have a look there. That looks very cool now. But we need a few more clouds on top. Now we select the plane. Well, we select the plane, and with D we duplicate it, move it up a little bit, and rotate it around the Z-axis 180 degrees. And shrink it a little bit more up here along the Z-axis. And now with Ctrl C, I will copy and place it around in all the other scenes. Okay, I just did it. And now let's check it. And now that looks awesome. Really cool what is possible in Buildbox. But there is still one thing we need. Now let's go to the character nodes. And I want an animation when the character collides with the buildings. So we duplicate this animation node and we cut the connections and we connect it with the defeating node from the buildings. And then we delete the explosion animation. And I prepared this very cool animation here when the character collides with a building. Drop it in and have a look. This is the Sprite Editor. And I think the images are a little bit too big, so we shrink it down. 0.6, I think, that will be great. Let's check it in the preview. Yeah, look there. That looks great, but it is still a little bit too big, I think. Yeah. Yeah, it is too big. We have to change it a little bit more. .5 maybe. Yeah, that looks pretty cool now. Very cool. And now we're done. We made a very cool game. Click the link in the video description and check out your free drone to download. And there is also a link where you can get the full superhero game set pack. I hope this tutorial was an inspiration for you. If yes, give it a like. And very soon you will find many more tutorials how to make cool animations in Buildbox here on my channel. If you want to see them, subscribe and see you soon. Thanks for watching.